Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another video. My name is Tawanda and this is Tawanda's Blessed Life. And on my channel, I do decorating on a budget, DIYs, and hauls with a sprinkle of migraine enlightenment. I also do sister lock updates and lifestyle updates. So if that is something that you are interested in, go ahead and hit the subscribe button to join my YouTube family. I would greatly appreciate it. And so today I have 6 last minute DIYs for you all today that I will be using in my living room and in my entryway. Let's go ahead and jump into today's video. I hope you all enjoy. Okay, so for our first DIY, I have this candle holder and I'm going to use my midnight blue paint on it. Now I've had this candle holder for a really long time and it actually was red, and I gave it a coat of blue paint at some point and I did not do a good job at it because you could still see the red paint and all of the little decorative areas where there's like little creases or indentations in the candle holder. And so I am going to go ahead and give it a fresh coat of blue paint and make sure that I get all of those little areas that I missed that had the red paint. I'm going to get those all covered in blue and give it a fresh new look and a new look on life. And then once it's completely dry, I'm going to take some of the gold, and they're antique gold rub and buff, and I'm going to just give it some highlight those little areas, the little decorative areas with that antique gold rub and buff. And I absolutely love the way that this turned out. So you'll have to let me know what you think about this DIY. I have this DIY placed on my entryway table and my when you first walk into my home, and I just love the look that it gives. So yeah, let me know what you think about this DIY. Okay, so for this DIY, I have this metallic gold paint, and then I have the gold rub and buff, and then I have this little silver, I don't know if it's a tray or a plate, I'm not really sure what it is, but I'm going to go ahead and start to paint it with the metallic gold paint. I'm going to give it 2 coats, and then once it's dry, I'm going to go back and start to add some of the antique wax gold rub and buff. I mean, not antique wax, the gold rub and buff, excuse me. And so then I'm also going to spray it with the clear coat, the Rust-Oleum clear coat for protection, because I'm actually going to use this to hold my, I made a planter, I think a month ago or 2 months ago. So I'm going to place the planter on this to hold it. And so I'll end up showing you all the planter in just somewhere in this video. And so I just decided that I was going to paint this gold, and then the next day I was thinking about this while I was at work, and I thought if I'm going to put the planter on it, I think it probably should match the planter. So on the bottom, so I flipped the plate over, and then I added some Mod Podge, and then I decoupaged this blue and white rabbit napkin onto the back of the plate. So here I am going to just show you that. I went ahead and painted it white first, and then I'm going to go ahead and add that plate. And here's my planter with my Christmas cactus in it. And so I'm going to go ahead and just start to add the Mod Podge and then add my napkin. I'm going to do the first layer of Mod Podge, and then I am going to give it a coat of Mod Podge on top, and I'm also going to just use my blow dryer to dry it. And that is going to be it for this DIY. I went back and I used my sandpaper to sand off the edges, And then I also, because I had added some of the Waverly Antique Wax onto the flower pot, I went ahead and added it also onto the napkin on my little tray here, or my plant holder. And that is going to be it for this DIY. I love the way that this turned out. So you will have to let me know what you think. Like I said, all of these DIYs are going to be really easy and simple. These are all just going to be DIYs to place in little areas that I may have needed something, or items that I already had that may have needed to be redone or touched up or refreshed. And so that's basically what these DIYs are. Okay, and we are moving right along. So again, I'm going to be using my Midnight Blue paint. As you can see, this is now my favorite blue paint to use. I also use this for all of my blueberry DIYs. If you watch any of my videos of me creating any of my DIY blueberry kitchen decor. And so I am going to take this egg. This egg came from Dollar General, I believe maybe 2 years ago, because this was actually a DIY I did 2 years ago, I do believe, or may have been last year. I am not sure, but it surpassed DIY. So I'm just going to redo over. So I'm going to add that Midnight Blue to the egg, and I'm going to let it dry. I gave it 2 coats. Once it was dry, I'm going to go take some more of that antique gold rub and buff, and I am going to go over the top of it to because it has like this like cool little design on it that you can. So I'm just going to take that gold rub and buff, and I am going to place it on top of my egg, and that is going to be it for this DIY. And this is another DIY that I have on my entry table when you walk in my home, and I just love the way that this look, and I love the gold and the blue. It matches the gold and the blue that I have on my fireplace and throughout my home. So yeah, you have to just let me know what you think. I love the way that these DIYs turned out. For this DIY, I have 2 other rabbit crochets that came from Walmart. I have 2 of these pumpkins from Dollar Tree. I think we all have these pumpkins. I have some Bible verses that I have printed out. I'm going to be using some of the moss from Dollar Tree. And then I have my little lambs. I've had these for a couple of years now. These were a thrift find. So I'm going to take those pumpkins and cut them in half, and I'm going to paint them white. I'm also going to take the base of the crochet, the bottom part of it, and I'm going to use some Waverly Antique Wax on it to give it a coat to darken it up some. And then here I am tracing out my Bible verses. And then once I have them traced, I'm going to use my glue stick to attach the Bible verses to my pumpkins. And then after I have the pumpkins, after I place the Bible verses on the pumpkin, I am then going to take that cork scrapbook paper that you see there. I'm going to go ahead and cut some circles out to place on top of the wooden piece that goes, or the wooden base that goes with the crochet. Now I'm calling it a crochet, but I believe Walmart calls it like I think it's like a basket or something. I'm gonna have to look and see what they call it, because it's not, they don't call it a crochet. But anyway, so once I have the cork cut out, so there's my Bible verses, and then I went ahead and cut that cork into little circles. So I'm going to place it on top, and then I'm going to take my glue stick, and I should have just used Mod Podge, but I did not, or some tacky glue, but I was trying to get these done because I was trying to hurry up and get my home decorated. And so I just took the glue stick, and then I took some of the moss and placed it on top of the cork. And then I went ahead and used my scissors to trim it back some. And then after I did that, I took my Bible verses and then I glued those to the top, on top of the moss. And so you'll see me actually, I don't think I did that first. So I did this first. So this is a rose from Valentine's Day that my husband gave me some roses. So they were dried out and I was actually going to get rid of them. I was getting rid of them. Then I decided I was going to use one of the stems to create some crosses. So I just took some twine and wrapped it around my cross, I'm going to call it my cross, but I took the twine and wrapped it around the stems and then I just tied them and then I glued them, hot glued them to my Bible verses. And then I hot glued my Bible verses to the cork with the moss on it. And then I placed my lambs on top and that is it for this DIY. I absolutely love the way that they turned out. I have these on my fireplace and these I think they're gorgeous. So you'll have to let me know what you think about this DIY. I absolutely love it. I also, when I made those crosses, I took that piece of ribbon off of that egg and then I used some of the Waverly Antique Wax to dirty it up some and then I wrapped it around the cross. And I just think that I just love the way that this turned out. And we are moving right along. So here I have two of the Dollar Tree candle holders. I've had these for a long time now. And I am going to just give them a fresh coat of white paint. I am also going to add some of the cork scrapbook paper to the bottom of the candle holders, only because I actually like to flip these candle holders over and use the bottom side to hold my candles, because the top side, depending on the size of the candle that you're using, it will not fit. So I usually flip it over and place my candle on top. So that is a little hack if your candles do not fit in these candle holders. And I actually have these placed on my fireplace. So yeah, I cannot wait for you all to see how I have these decorated in my home. So you'll have to let me know if this is a hack that you've ever tried. Okay, so we're moving on to our last and final DIY for today. Like I said, these are going to be really quick, easy, and simple DIY. So I have these two gift boxes. They were 50 cents a piece. I did purchase them at the thrift store, and they just need just a little bit of love. So I am going to, the white around the edges of my bunnies it's quite dirty, so I'm just going to give it a fresh coat of white paint. And then I am going to take some of the blue Loctite to attach the base to the lid so that it won't fall off, because I do want to stand these up because I'm going to have these standing upright when I use them to decorate my home. And so yeah, so that is basically it for this DIY. I'm just going to go ahead and give it a fresh coat of white paint, use the blue Loctite so that they will stay standing and put together and they won't fall apart. I was going to use tape, but I did not want to mess up the box just in case if I wanted to use this for a different DIY later on down the line. And that is it for today's video. If you like what I am doing, please like, share, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And like I always say, be nicer, be kinder. God will love you for it. And I hope you have a blessed day, and I will see you on Sunday. Goodbye.